Hi, everybody. Welcome to Food Buddha. I'm Talia. And today I have something that feels really close to the surface. Been something going on in my mind and in my body the last week. And I really hope that this gives you some inspiration and can help you. So, when I was going through what I would say my toughest years, my eating disorder years, I was plagued with this never changing feeling, never leaving me type of feeling of not being good enough. So I was overweight. In my own mind, I should have been something different. I should look different. I have curly hair. Everybody else has straight hair. I have brown eyes. Everybody has blue eyes. I'm different. I'm weird. I'm messed up. I'm beyond repair. There's something wrong with me. So a lot of my thoughts were always about how I'm not where I should be, or I'm not what I should be, or I should be stronger. I should have more self-discipline. I would compare myself to others and think I should be like that person in any regard. Usually it was about their body and the way they carry themselves, but it could be about anything. I was always thinking that I should be something different. And I always had the belief as well that when I lost the weight, my life is going to be easy, because that was what dominated my thoughts all the time, was if I could just lose 20 pounds, I really would feel good. And I went to eating disorder counseling, and at one point she said to me, Talia, food is not the problem. And I looked at her and I was just like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, actually it is. Like, I'm okay with who I am as a person. I'm okay with this. I think I'm a good friend. I'm a good whatever. I'm funny, something, whatever. But it's my weight. That's the problem here. If I lost 20 pounds, of course my life would be easier. I'd be more casual and relaxed in the summer. I wouldn't be so uptight with food when I'm eating. Oh, thank you, Melissa. I would be just more me. If I just lost the weight, it would come together. And as much as it's easy to stand back and say, like, it probably won't, at the time, that's all I could see. And that's what dominated my thoughts, was food and weight and controlling it all, exercise. So as I moved through my time of healing and got educated with nutrition and really got obsessed with personal transformation, I knew there was a way out of it. I can go more into that story a different time, but as I moved through it, what I found is that there were still problems. There were still struggles. Even as I lost weight, my boyfriend at the time would still annoy me, or work would still be overwhelming, or I'd have times of less or more money that would still stress me out, or I'd want to travel but it would put me in debt, or I couldn't travel and that would be stressful, or my mom would still piss me off, or whatever. There was always still stuff. And I started to realize that when I was suffering with an eating disorder, that dominated all my thoughts. So I thought that that was the only problem, or that was the only trigger, that was the only thing that wasn't going right. But I realized that self-doubt will always be there. And what I really wanted to, thank you, Tina, for saying that. That's great. What I really wanted to say is that right now in my life, I am so thankful that thoughts of food and weight and all of that doesn't show up in my life anymore. I pinch myself saying, I don't even know how I got out of it, because it dominated my life for over 10 years. That doesn't show up anymore, but that does not mean that I don't suffer. That doesn't mean that I'm not plagued all the time with thoughts entering my mind of, why is it like this? Or it should be a different way. So one example is I have pretty intense back pain. I don't like to focus on it. I don't like to talk about it too much, but from the time I was young, I've had back pain. It gets better and worse, but is always pretty bad. I spend time thinking, why me? Like, it's so frustrating. And I witness other people and I think, their back looks like it works fine. Like, why me? What the hell? This should be different. Is there something wrong with my body? This should be different. I spent a lot of time thinking the same types of thoughts about my mom. And thankfully now we're at a wonderful healed place and it's beautiful. But I spent so many years thinking, why? Why can't we just get along? Why can't I just have this normal relationship? Why can't I have the mom like this person has where it's an easy relationship? Why? And I would think that about so many different things. Money. I should be at a different place by now. It comes into my life currently. My business. I should be here now. I should already be on stages in front of tens of thousands of people. I should have thousands of people demanding my work everywhere I go. I should have people buying my programs and transforming their lives every day. I should be more approachable. I should be more inspiring. I should have more money. I should. And holy crap, it comes into my life every day. But the silver lining here is that I took the time to do the work with my food issues, thinking that once I figured that all out, I'd be good. And although my thoughts aren't dominated with thoughts about my body, and I can even look in the mirror now and look at my body and be in tears of how thankful I am for it, which is something I didn't ever think would come. So food and weight are not the issue anymore, but there's still issues. It's always coming up. But like I was saying, the silver lining is I took the time to do the work about the biggest dragon in my life, which was food, my weight, alcohol, bulimia, eating disorder, all that stuff was massive for so long. I did the work to get through that, and what I gained through healing that part of my life gives me the tools to deal with all this other stuff. 2 days ago, I was in tears about my business, thinking I should be like that person. I really wish that this was happening. I wish that I was here. I wish that my workshops were full all across Canada and the US, and I wish I was writing the books that I have in my mind that I've even started. I wish. Why aren't I like that? Comparison is a killer. But I just want to say that is always going to be there. Those doubts, oh, Tina, thank you. I'm glad that you identify with that because I think this is very real. And I think this is something that we don't always talk about, especially online presence. And to be really straight up, I've hid a lot of my real life from you guys because I'm scared. I'm scared that if you don't look at me and think, oh, she's so inspiring, that you won't want to do the work for yourself, or you won't want to take what I have to say with heart and look inside for your transformation. You won't want to buy a program. You won't want to listen to me because if I'm not perfect, then I'm not inspiring. That's what I've had in my mind. And it's come to a breaking point where I'm realizing that's not working. I do struggle. There's things I struggle with all the time. But really what I want to come back to and say is that there's so much more relief now available to me within my struggles because I did the work with weight and self-love and food, because that was my biggest thing. That may not be your biggest thing, but everybody has the one or two biggest things. Some people have addictions or really deep mommy daddy issues or neglect or abuse or substance or whatever. And if we take the time to give love to the biggest dragons, when that other crap comes up and those other voices about who are you to be this, or you're not good enough, or look at her, she's doing way better than you are, all that crap, we have the tools because now I know what my worth is. And I know my worth isn't in my weight, and I know my worth isn't if I eat a salad or not. So I also know that my worth is not in what my business does this month, or my back pain, or how much money I have in my bank account right now. I know that my worth is so much bigger, and I know that my purpose is so much bigger. So what I really want to say to you is take the time to do the work for the biggest thing, or the couple biggest things, or whatever you can muster up the courage to do. The biggest issues you face in your daily life, Go where inspires you to shift those things. Because as life comes up and throws you curveballs, maybe one day, you might get evicted from your rental place because it's sold, or one day our parents are going to pass away, or maybe yours already have, or one day you're going to face something that really fucking sucks. But you're going to have a toolbox of tools that you now can use to get through those things. Because once you start slaying those big dragons, those things that get you every day, when you refuse that it's a reality, it is amazing what opens up. So even with my back, when I was in grade 6, I was told that I have scoliosis. So I've carried that my entire life, saying I have scoliosis, I have scoliosis, I have a crooked spine. My back is never going to function the way a normal person's does because I have a crooked spine, I have scoliosis. I was told that from the time I was young until this year with a new practitioner and a new team. They're going, you don't have scoliosis. Every spine is slightly different, and yours has a slight curve, but almost every single person's does. Your pain is actually coming from posture when you were younger, and you've just trained your hips and your knees to do certain things, and we can work through that. Do you know how relieving that was after my entire life being told I have a medical condition that now I'm realizing I don't? And now that I'm working through the mindset stuff around it, and not giving the attention to that label, my back is actually feeling better and I'm treating it with love. So what I want to say is, even if you have a diagnosis, a doctor has told you something, don't accept that crap as you. Because say you have a diagnosis of anxiety or bipolar or something that you really feel, it doesn't mean that it's your fate, or it doesn't mean that you're locked to the confines of what that is. You're just dealing with things. You are a special person. I have a curved spine, but I don't have scoliosis. And I just want to place before you that don't settle for what you think you have, or how you think you're messed up, or how you think that you're without the means within you to heal. If you think you're too messed up, if you think you're too far gone, you're not. You're absolutely not. And what I want to say is that self-doubt is always going to come up, and pain is always going to come up, and things that trigger you is always going to come up. But if you take the time and the love to address the biggest things in your life, you will gain a toolbox of tools that you can pull out when life gets tough. So that's been really on my mind today. I just want to tell you that although I portray online like I'm so inspired and everything's great, that is my life. I am obsessed with inspiration and spirituality and my mindset, and it's led me to a life beyond my wildest dreams, but it doesn't mean that there's no pain. It doesn't mean that there's no doubt, and there's no days of crying on the floor going, what the hell? I should be somewhere else by now. But I've gained the tools from dealing with my eating disorder to know where my worth lies, and my worth is within here. My worth is in my purpose and what I'm here to spread, my message of love and peace, and who I am as a soul. That is my worth. Not the scoliosis, not my bank account, not how many likes I have on Facebook. It's the love that I can spread. It's my highest self speaking to your highest self, saying, you got this. Do the work on the biggest things. Spread love to yourself and compassion, and you so got this. Oh, thank you so much, Tina. I so appreciate that. And you're so right. By giving your pain and your weight attention and a voice, you are giving it power. And that realization is the first thing. When my back, I just actually sprained my back a couple days ago. So you can imagine what that does to my already story about my back being weak and all this. And if you'll stay with me for a short little story, I was bending over to say good morning to my 7-year-old, and my 4-year-old jumped on my back and instantly sent me to the floor. I've been all these things, it's sprained. But I've feared for probably about 5-7 years. I've said to my husband, I've said, one day I fear that my kid's just going to jump on my back and it's going to paralyze me because I feel weak and vulnerable in my back. And I've said it so many times that the universe goes, your wish is my command, and created that. So thank you for the note, universe, that you are consistent and powerful, and I'm going to heal and get through it. But you're right, Tina, by giving attention to your pain, you give it power. I also don't want that to mean that you have to shove away your pain, because working through it, if that's going to give you the most power, it's like, you know, if you come home from a crappy day and you just need to vent and then you feel a lot better. If you vent and vent and vent and bitch and bitch and bitch and are complaining about all these people forever and it's making you feel worse, that's not really constructive. But if you come home and blah and you feel better, then that's actually good for you. So we don't want to give it attention like it's your fate and like it's the only choice you have, but you can acknowledge it and you can share and you can say, you know what, right now I'm feeling powerless and I'm sure it will get better. I'm a seeker and that's where my thoughts are, is it will get better, but right now I'm in pain and right now that sucks, and that's okay too. It's not all about rainbows and roses. It's about being real and finding the way that actually makes you feel better. So thank you guys so much for listening. It may not seem big for you, but it's a very vulnerable post for me to post that life is not perfect in my corner. I don't know why I feel like I need to do that. To be inspirational, I have to be perfect. That's crazy. It actually sounds crazy saying it, but thank you for listening, and I love you so much, and you really got this. Shine light on your struggles. If you need help, I am here, whether it's a message or a program or being a client or just words of encouragement, I'm always here for you. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon, Seekers.